Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're doing something a little bit different. We are stepping away from the usual business case studies or tech trends and stepping onto the pitch. We're heading down to Adelaide, Australia.
A beautiful place for cricket. The oval, the history, the cathedral at the end of the ground. It's iconic.
Usually, yes, it's picturesque. But we are looking specifically at a very intense, very hot 2-week window that's February 4th to February 20th, 2019, that contains perhaps the most baffling set of sports data I have ever looked at.
I think that's fair to say.
We're analyzing a cricket tour between two teams. The home side, the Assies, and the visitors, the Missies. This is Season 1, Tour 1, Series 3.
And I want to be clear right from the jump. If you follow cricket, or even if you just vaguely know it involves a bat and a ball, you have a certain mental model of how the game works. You know what a good score is.
Right. You know that scoring 300 runs in a day is a big deal.
A very big deal. I need you to take that mental model and just throw it out the window, because the numbers we're about to discuss, they defy physics. We're talking about a statistical anomaly where the game didn't just change, it broke.
Yeah.
If you're a cricket purist, you might want to sit down for this one.
It really is wild. The mission of this deep dive is to unpack this specific Series 3. We have a stack of scorecards here that, honestly, they look like typos. We aren't talking about a run rate of 6 or 7 and over, which is, you know, aggressive T20 cricket.
That's flying.
We are seeing strike rates consistently over 5 runs per ball.
Which, for the uninitiated, is, well, it's essentially the maximum output possible. It means almost every single delivery is crossing the boundary rope for a 4 or a 6. It's video game numbers.
Exactly. So we're going to break down the 3 formats they played, the T10, the T25, and the T50. We'll meet the squads, specifically juggernauts like Mia Lee and Lovia for the home team, and the resilient stars like Aishwarya for the visitors.
But the real story here isn't just the runs. It's the wickets, or I should say the lack of them.
That's the hook right there. We're looking at a tour where getting out became virtually obsolete for one team, while the scoreboard ticked over into the quadruple digits. So let's set the scene. February 4th, 2019, the T10 Blitz begins.
Right, so T10 format, shortest form of the game here, 10 overs aside. That's 60 balls per team. And usually T10 is just pure chaos.
It's frantic.
Totally. You expect batters to swing wildly, lose their wickets, and maybe score, 120 on 20? That's a great score.
That's the standard. But the Assies playing at home had a very different strategy. They treated it like, I don't know, like batting practice, where you just refuse to get out.
Let's look at match 1 and match 2. This is where the pattern emerges immediately.
Okay.
In match 1, the Assies scored 342 runs. In match 2, they scored 344 runs.
Huge scores. I mean, 344 runs in just 10 overs.
Massive. But look at the wickets column. In both matches, 0.
344 for 0.
Think about that for a second. They faced 60 legal deliveries. They scored 344 runs. That is a run rate of nearly 35 runs per over. And in all that aggression, not a single batter mistimed a shot.
No edges, no guess.
Nothing. It suggests complete total dominance of bat over ball. And it wasn't just one player. You had Mia Lee, Lovia, London Keys. But here's the thing that I found fascinating.
What's that?
The Missies weren't just rolling over. In match 1, they scored 330. They only lost by 12 runs.
Wow. So they were right there.
That's a crucial point. If you just look at the win-loss column, yeah, the Assies took this T10 leg 4-1. It looks like a blowout. But the Missies were matching that intensity almost step for step. They were just losing a few wickets.
They were playing normal, aggressive cricket. The Assies were playing something else entirely. Immortal cricket, you called it.
Exactly. Which brings us to match 3, February 6th. This is the outlier. This is the one win for the Missies in the T10.
And what a win it was.
Oh, yeah. The Assies batted first and put up 352 for 0. Again, flawless. But the Missies, they chased it. They finished 354 for 0.
We have to talk about Sushmita Sen here.
We do. In a tour dominated by the home team, this was a statement. Sushmita Sen scored 266 runs. Not out.
Wait, in a T10? She scored 266 by herself.
In a T10, she faced just 45 balls.
Let me do the math on that. That's almost 6 runs a ball.
It's a strike rate of 5.91. She hit 43 sixes. Just visualize that for a second. In an innings of 45 balls, she hit the ball over the rope 43 times. It's just relentless.
But the Assies, They just seem to have this ability to reset. Matches 4 and 5, they bounce right back. In match 4, they post 354 for 0. Again.
And this is where the Missies finally cracked a little under the pressure.
Yeah.
In match 4, they lost 3 wickets, which in this universe is basically a collapse, and only managed 318.
It's so funny that scoring 318 in 10 overs is considered a stumble.
It shows you how distorted the baseline had become, right? If you aren't scoring 35 and over, you are losing.
By the end of that first leg, Lovia was named winner of series. Why her specifically?
Consistency. I mean, Mia Lee had the crazy highs, but Lovia was the anchor in those wicketless partnerships. She was the one making sure that 0 in the wickets column stayed as 0. But honestly, the T10s were just a warm-up.
Right, because then we move to the T25 escalation. Matches 6 through 10, we are jumping from 10 overs to 25 overs.
And conventional cricket wisdom says as the game gets longer, the run rate drops. You have to conserve energy, you have to play more carefully to preserve wickets.
Logic would suggest that, yes, you can't sprint a marathon.
But the data here suggests the opposite. The totals just doubled.
If anything, the intensity went up. And this leg, matches 6 through 10, this was actually the most competitive part of the whole tour. The Assies won it 3-2, but it was a dogfight.
It was. And this is where we really saw the rise of Mia Lee. Match 6, she scores 520 runs, not out.
500 runs in a single innings.
Off just 100 balls. So that's exactly 5.2 runs per ball. It's like a machine.
I want to focus on the turning point of this leg, though, matches 9 and 10. Because for a moment there, it really looked like the Missies were going to turn the tide.
They did. They went on a streak. Match 9, they chased down 780. But in match 10, February 14th, Valentine's Day.
No love lost there, I'm guessing.
Not at all. This was the thriller of the series. The Assies bat first. They put up 788 for 0. You look at that total, nearly 800 runs, and you think, okay, surely that's it. Game over.
It feels insurmountable.
And yet the Missies chased it. They scored 792 for 1.
Wow. 792 to win.
Aishwarya Rai was the hero there. We need to put some respect on that name. She scored 480 runs ageta, not out of 91 balls. She hit 58 sixes in 1 innings.
58 sixes. I mean, just the physicality of that, that's exhausting.
It really is. It showed that the Missies had the individual brilliance. When one of their stars was in the zone, they could topple anyone. The problem was, could they do it every single day?
And that leads us to a discussion about the bowlers, because we're praising the batters. But what about the other side of the coin? I was looking at the economy rates.
Oh, it's a graveyard for bowlers. A complete nightmare.
The economy rates are hovering around 30, 31, 32 runs per over.
So let's clarify that. An economy rate is the average runs a bowler concedes per over. 6 balls. In a normal T20, an economy of 8 or 9 is acceptable. 12 is expensive.
And here we are seeing 32.
Right. An economy of 30 means, mathematically, that every ball is going for 5 runs on average. Essentially, every legal delivery is a boundary.
So the bowlers aren't there to take wickets or restrict runs? They're just
the mechanism to deliver the ball so it can be hit. They're cannon fodder. The fact that anyone took a wicket at all is the surprising stat here.
So we've survived the T10s, we've survived the T25s. Now we move into the final leg, the T50 marathon, matches 11 through 15.
And this is where physical reality should set in. It's mid-February in Adelaide. It's hot. They played 10 games in 10 days. Fatigue has to be a factor.
You would think, but the Assies just found another gear.
This is where their fitness really took over. They won this leg 4-1. And the scoring volume, astronomical, doesn't even cover it. We've run out of adjectives.
Let's just look at match 11. The Assies posted 1488 for 1.
Nearly 1,500 runs.
And the Missies, they responded with 1454. They lost by 34 runs after scoring over 1,400 runs themselves. That has to be heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's a psychological blow, right? You bat for 50 overs, you run yourself into the ground, you score a total that should win any game in history, and you still lose. That breaks a team.
And you can see that crack widening. In match 13, the Assies went even bigger, 1528 for 0. Mia Lee scored 904 not out in that game.
Just
Yeah.
unreal. But that was just a warm-up.
For match 15, February 20th, the tour finale, this is the moment the entire data set has been building towards, the Mia Lee phenomenon.
This scorecard is historic. I don't use that word lightly. The Assies bat first. They score 1576 for 0.
1576 without losing a wicket.
But look at Mia Lee's individual line. Read it out for me because I need to hear someone else say it to believe it.
I'm looking at it and I still can't quite believe it's real. Mia Lee, 1,000 runs, not out. Off 190 balls.
Exactly, 1,000. It's so perfect. It's a decable century.
Wow.
10 centuries in 1 innings.
How? Just how is that possible?
She faced 190 balls. She scored at a rate of 5.26 runs per ball, and she hit 126s in that one innings.
126s.
Think about the physicality of that. Hitting a six requires power, timing, core strength, doing it 120 times in a few hours.
Mm-hmm.
That is an incredible athletic feat. It cemented the series win, obviously. It was a performance of absolute perfection.
And what happened to the Missies in that final chase, chasing 1577?
They crumbled, relatively speaking. They scored 1460.
Which is still a massive score.
Huge. But they lost 5 wickets doing it. And that brings us to the wickets discrepancy. Because guess who took those wickets?
Don't tell me.
In that final game, Mia Lay, after scoring 1,000 runs, came back out with the ball and took 5 wickets for 260 runs.
Wait, she took a 5-fer?
She ripped through the Missies' top order. Manushi, Chhillar, Priyanka, Chopra, Aishwarya, she got them all.
So she scores 1,000 runs and then takes 5 wickets. That is the definition of an all-rounder.
Although you have to chuckle at the bowling figures. 5 wickets for 260 runs. In any other context, that's a disaster. Here, it's a match-winning spell.
It's the greatest individual performance in this entire dataset, without a doubt. So, let's zoom out. The Assies take the tour, 11 wins to 4.
And when you look at the aggregate data, Mia Lee's numbers are they're silly. Across 15 matches, she scored 4,324 runs.
4,000 runs in 2 weeks.
But here's the stat that blows my mind. Her batting average.
Okay, so just to remind everyone, average is total runs divided by the number of times you got out.
Correct. And because the Assies were obsessed with wicket preservation, Mia Lee remained not out in 7 of her 9 innings.
So she only got out twice in the entire tour.
Exactly. So you divide 4,324 by 2. Her average is 2,162.0.
An average of over 2,000. For context, Don Bradman, the greatest cricketer at all time, had an average of 99.94.
It's not even the same sport at that point. It speaks to that core strategy. The Assies simply refused to get out. They turned defense into the ultimate offense.
But I think we should spare a thought for the unlucky stars here. Specifically, Aishwarya Rai for the Missies.
Yeah, let's talk about her. She was captain for the T50 leg.
And overall, she was the second highest run scorer on the tour, wasn't she?
She was. Scored 3,182 runs. She averaged over 1,000 herself. In any other series, she's the hero. She's the headline.
And yet
she suffered the most defeats as a captain. She scored big, that 480. She had an 892 in match 14. But it often wasn't enough. It's a classic case of individual brilliance against a relentless collective machine.
it feels like a Greek tragedy. You do everything right, you break records, and you still lose because the other person is just superhuman.
Exactly. The cruelty of sport.
So, to wrap this up, the Assies vs. Missies tour was a display of just overwhelming offensive power. The home team used the strategy of not-out cricket to grind the opposition into dust.
That's the key takeaway for me, the psychological pressure of it. The Assies forced the Missies to chase impossible totals every single time because they refused to give their wickets away.
It changes the whole mindset of the chasing team.
It does. You walk out knowing you need 1,500 runs. You know that if you play a perfect game, you might win. But you also know you can't afford a single mistake. One slip up, one catch, and you fall behind. It's suffocating.
It is. It's total dominance. I want to leave you with this final thought, though. We saw the Missies win 4 games. They had their moments. But imagine the psychology of a sport where your opponent is scoring 5 runs every single time the ball is bowled.
It's a nightmare scenario.
How do you maintain morale? How did the Missies keep coming back out for match 11, match 12, getting hammered for 1,500 runs and still put up 1,400 in response? That level of mental resilience might be just as impressive as Mia Lee's 1,000 runs.
That is the question. In the face of perfection, resilience is the only option left. And they showed it.
A fascinating look at a truly bizarre slice of sporting history. Thanks for diving in with us.
Always a pleasure.
We'll see you next time. Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're doing something a little bit different. We are stepping away from the usual business case studies or tech trends